We are a group of gearheads that have devoted our lives to what we do. From racing and off-road performance to show cars and fabrication. Customizing cars and trucks, it isn't just a hobby. It's all we know. We are DFA Performance. We're getting ready to roll the BMW on the trailer, and it's going to feel like a whole different car. Coilovers, sway bars, and a couple adjustments, and the car feels, Matt hasn't rode in it yet, but it feels totally different. Now that we've tested the car with stock horsepower and stock size tires and wheels and what we believe are some eBay coil springs, now we've bought some parts and we're ready to start making this thing a little more trackable. We've got some two-way adjustables from MCS, motion control suspension. These are the remote reservoirs with the quick disconnects, which is great. We have some 2.25-inch springs on here that allow us to fit a little bit bigger tire. And we got some setup to figure out, but this is where we'll start, getting these bad boys on here, getting this thing balanced out and setting the alignment and going from there. So Tevin's gonna get a few more shots of me moving this in and out. Why his perverted self wants to see those shots, I don't know. What these are is plastic on steroids, basically. Probably some sort of polymer, but they're steering limiters, and I don't believe this will prohibit us from being in any sort of class at all, but it's going to allow us to put the tire size we want to within the class spec, but not rip our fender liners out. So on the track, you're only going to steer so much. This is only going to hurt us like in the paddock, in the pits, like parking in parking spaces, which this car will never do. So this is fine. It takes a little bit of work to get here, but it's going to be a big help to keep us from tearing the car up. These came in the Bimmer World package box. Bimmer World. Look, they give you gummies. Come on, guys. Help us out. Get the camera. Come on, just let me put it. That was a perfect throw.
Didn't already know, one of the things that we are known for is we mount and balance high-end custom wheels.
Yeah, that's one of the things we've kind of got a reputation for doing and doing well. And it's even branched off into like doing some wheel repair. We end up getting a lot of cracked wheels and damaged wheels from tire shops. Cameron, he's kind of our go-to tire guy.
He's been doing it a long time.
Yeah.
Even before he came here with us, so he was experienced. The other guys are experts as well.
And like you said, everybody in this shop is pretty much an expert wheel and tire guy. Not calling anybody out, but we got people from other tire shops and even dealerships that we've done tires for. It's kind of one of the things that we try to make sure we do at the absolute highest level.
And the Hunter engineering equipment that we have is top of the line.
So what we're doing is trying to find where the crack ends. because these cracks, they're kind of like, you see the main crack, but then at a microscopic level, it's fraying out like broken glass. So what we do is we find the end of the crack and we drill it out to give it a clean machine surface, and then we grind out the crack on both sides of the wheel and weld it. Cameron is setting up to take final alignment numbers. We're making sure nothing has moved. We're loading it on the trailer tomorrow to go to Barber Motorsports Park. And with the new stuff we've put on, we got to make sure everything is dead accurate, because getting the geometry, the ride height too far out of whack could cause some serious handling issues, throw the Ackerman angle out and some of the other things. And basically, we're just making sure that everything is stuck after putting a couple test drives on it. So we'll confirm all the measurements are good, and if they are, we'll load it on the trailer. It might be a little aggressive. What was it on this side?
Negative 3.4 on that side.
Okay. After taking the final alignment measurements, we may have had a slight bit of settling and shifting in the suspension. We aligned this and set it up pretty much right after we got it on the ground. So we're gonna put it on the track and see how it does. Our numbers, like I said, were a little bit indicative of maybe a slight bit of movement, but we're gonna run with it and see how it does. The tires will tell us what it's doing.
The 49 Chevy is finally complete.
It was not as easy as we hoped it would be. What we were hoping was just putting in the LS engine turned into
Several LS1 engines.
So if y'all have been following along, you've seen this truck here. This truck has not been the most fun. We've had electrical issues, we've had fuel issues, we've had coolant issues, and all we were supposed to do was put an LS engine in it with a pre-built harness, but it's been to multiple shops and no one would finish it. So our goal was to finish it and make it a drivable truck. The hood, like our final test drive, the hood popped up luckily when we were going slow, like the actual welded mechanism just broke off the hood.
Luckily, it had the safety latch. And
it's either a really old hood from the 40s or a cheap hood, I don't know. But
could you imagine that big hood catching the wind?
Yeah, that would have destroyed a $100,000 truck.
And your dome piece.
Well, after weeks and weeks of struggle and suffer, I think we finally got a drivable truck. These seats are almost too nice to even sit in. So if this thing starts this time, we've been through test after test, and if she fires up, then we're good to go. We're sending this to the customer as a driving truck. Let's see what it does. Sounds like it runs to me. It actually rides pretty good. It's finally ready to go, and it did not go without a fight, but thank goodness this customer's gonna finally get ready to
Finally get to drive his truck after what, 5+ years?
Yeah, maybe, I think he said 8 when I talked to him last time. Yeah.
I did not know it was that long.
Yeah, since he started this journey.
Wow.
So an LS swapped 1949 3100 and a beautiful truck.
Yes.
So we're excited to see this thing out at the car shows, see it out on the road. It's an awesome truck. It's a crazy time nowadays with social media. Like, we're basically a bunch of guys who would never make YouTube videos, and none of us are like Facebook posters. We're all pretty quiet on that end, but it's something you almost have to do to stay relevant. But in this social media time, one thing I see that's really kind of nasty in the car world is, and just in the world in general, is people just picking each other apart, like waiting for somebody to mess up. And the truth is, if you work on enough stuff, you're gonna mess up eventually. If you're doing enough work, if you're busy enough, something's not gonna go as planned eventually. So to all the haters out there, like, you know, just get out there and do something. Worry about yourself. How good of a job is anyone gonna do if they're worried about what everybody else is doing? One thing that is important to me, and I think everybody who works here, is that it's not just about if we make a mistake or not, because we think eventually it's inevitable, but how to minimize the amount of mistakes we make. If we do make a mistake, how we handle it, basically treat people the way we want to be treated, and most importantly, learning from them, how to not make them in the future, what we can do if we see something, especially something that we've never had happen before, how to keep it from happening in the future. And if, you know, we do that, I think, or if anybody does that, your path to success in the automotive world, or just working on your car as a hobbyist, is going to be a lot better. You know, I think a lot of people say this, but the most important thing to us here at this shop is doing good, honest work. If we don't get rich, that's okay. Money's not everything. I believe that to the core. Money can buy you fast cars though. And if you got some of it, give us a holler.